Hey guys, so I brought you to my kitchen today because I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite easy recipes that's also pretty high in protein compared to what you would normally be eating if you were eating this same meal just with the normal ingredients. So we're actually going to make pizza today. So we're going to make 2-ingredient pizza dough. So I use Kodiak cakes, the Power Cakes mix. But you can also use self-rising flour. You want to use the self-rising flour if you don't use Kodiak cakes because it already has the baking powder and the baking soda in it, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's literally 2 ingredients for the dough: Kodiak cakes or self-rising flour and Greek yogurt. I use the 0% fat Greek yogurt, and it's equal parts. So let me get measuring cup here. So it's half a cup. Let's see if we can do this. Half a cup of your flour or your Kodiak cakes. This out of the way. And then I like to measure my Greek yogurt. I like to weigh it just because some of that gets stuck in the measuring cup and then it's not quite as exact if you use a measuring cup. So it's half of a cup of Greek yogurt is 114 grams. 114 grams is half of a cup. So if you don't have a kitchen scale, I love a kitchen scale because it allows you, it actually gives, usually you end up getting more food per serving, because if you look at any nutrition label, it'll tell you a quarter cup, and then it will also give you in grams how much is one serving. So usually I found that if you measure it, it ends up being more than you would get if you used a measuring cup. Same thing for like chips or any kind of single serve snack. If you weigh that out instead of counting the number of things that is in the serving. So usually with like a chip or a cracker, it'll say about 9 or about whatever, however many, or 28 grams. And then if you weigh it out, it usually ends up being more. So once you have those 2 things in your bowl, you're going to just mix them around. At first, it's going to be really clumpy and dry. So if you look, you can see it's pretty dry in there. You just want to keep mixing it until you can till most of the Greek yogurt has your flour or your Kodiak cakes on it. So we're just going to stir this. Then once it gets to like the consistency of like wet sand, so it looks a little like this, I like to use, whoops, I just got Greek yogurt all over this jacket. It's fine. I like to use my hands just because it comes together a little bit better. So, take that spoon out of there. And then you just want to mix it with your hands until you get it into a ball. And you need to push it down because you'll get little spots of Greek yogurt in there that are not surrounded by flour, and then it'll be weird when you try to roll it out. Okay, so we're at a point now where it's going to be pretty sticky. So you want it to be just like this. So now I have a little ball of dough. It's still a little bit sticky, which is fine. You could add a little bit more of your flour if you wanted to make it not quite so sticky, but this is like the perfect, it's just a little tacky, but this is perfect. So I am just going to wash my hands one more time so that I can roll this out. The next step that we're going to do is I'm going to use, because I have these at my house, I'm going to use a silicone baking mat. If you don't have this, you could use parchment paper, or you can just roll it out on your counter and transfer it to your pan. So this mat is from Amazon. It came in a 2-pack. They're really easy to wash, and it saves your pans, and nothing sticks to it. So that's the benefit. Because this dough is really sticky, I still like to spray the mat. So I'll spray the mat, and then I will take my dough, and I'll just push it out with my hands at first to kind of form a circle shape, or you can make whatever shape you feel like. And then I'm going to grab my rolling pin. Another thing, I don't have any wax paper at my house right now, but another thing that makes this really easy is if you put wax paper on top of the dough and then roll it out, because the dough will not stick to the wax paper, and then it's pretty easy to get it in a nice shape. So I'm gonna use this rolling pin. I'm gonna spray it first so that hopefully nothing will stick to it. So just roll it out nice and thin. You want it to be about a 1/4 inch, but it's more important that it's even all the way through so that it will cook more evenly. So this, once I get it rolled out, whoops, starting to stick a little bit. Once I get it rolled out, I'm going to add some garlic powder to the top, just for a little extra flavor. So I have this roasted garlic powder that I like to use, and I'll just sprinkle it over the top and then pat that in. So one of the benefits of this dough is that it's actually pretty balanced nutritionally. It's my oven preheating. Because the Greek yogurt doesn't have any fat, and it actually has, this is for a 3/4 cup serving, but it has 18 grams of protein, no fat, and only 5 carbohydrates. So this is a really good substitute when you're baking, because it will mimic some of the other things that you use in baking that have more fat, like eggs. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees, and I have my dough on my silicone baking mat. So I'm going to put this on my pan, and I actually like to give it one last spray. I use coconut oil just because that's what I like. You can use any kind of olive oil or vegetable oil spray. Spraying it on the top just helps make it a little more crispy when it's baking. So we're going to put that in the oven for 10 minutes. Set a little timer here. And while that is baking, I like to clean up a little bit, first of all. And then what I really like to do is get my toppings ready. So this is about a 1/4 cup of cheese that will go on top. And then I'm going to do, because it's a fairly small pizza shape, I'm going to do about 10 grams of spinach, which spinach does not weigh very much. So that's going to be a lot of spinach for not a lot of weight in it. So that's about 10 grams of spinach. I'll put that over here. And then I just use a measuring cup for this because it's messy. So I don't actually weigh this one. I will use a measuring cup. And one serving is 1/2 cup, so I just usually use 1/2 cup of that. So I will just set all of that over by my oven while we wait for the crust to bake. So our timer just went off. The crust has been in the oven for 10 minutes. We're going to take it out. What you want to see is that it's just starting to get golden brown around the edges. And now we're going to add the toppings. Okay, so it's really hot, so be careful. So I'm going to start with the sauce. It's 1/2 cup. Spill it. So we're going to put that on there. And then I just like to spread it out with the bottom side of the measuring cup, because I don't like to get dishes dirty if I don't have to. And then just make sure you don't get too close to the edge because it'll spill over. And then just try to fill the whole circle. So next I'm going to put on the spinach. I like to rip it a little bit so that each piece gets a little spinach, some vegetables. I will put at the end of this video the macros and the nutrition information for this exact pizza that I'm making. And and then you can have it. It's super filling, and obviously we've got tomatoes and the tomato sauce. We've got spinach. We're going to have a little dairy on here. So then I put the cheese on. Try to spread it pretty evenly. Again, like, this is up to you what you want to put on this pizza. So be creative and see what you can make out of it. So there's the cheese. And then I'm going to put it back in the oven. I usually just watch it. I put it in for like 6 minutes. Set a timer for 6 minutes, and then see what it looks like. If the cheese is bubbly, and if you put any meat on it, if it looks like the meat's heated through, then you're good to go. So we're going to put it back in the 400-degree oven, and I'm going to set a timer for 6 minutes, and then I will check it at that point. So I'll see you back here in 6 minutes. The timer just went off for the pizza, so I'm going to get it out and show it to you. See if it needs any more time. Oh, it looks really good. So I'm actually going to give it just a couple, maybe like another minute or two, because this cheese on the top is not totally melted, but it smells so good. So we're just going to give it maybe another minute or two. Okay, so I left that in for about 1 more minute, just so that the cheese on the top got a little bit more melty. And so this is what it looks like when it comes out. The edges are nice and crispy. The cheese is all melted in the middle. And then one last little topper, because I like to use this balsamic glaze from Trader Joe's. It is so delicious. Just as like a little finisher, and I do just like a little zigzag over the top. A serving size is a tablespoon, so if you do, you can eyeball it. If you want to get super technical with it, you could put your pizza on your scale, drizzle over 15 grams, and then you'd have your accurate serving size. But with this, I probably did less than a tablespoon here, just because I just like it as a drizzle on the top. There you go. This is your 2-ingredient pizza. So yummy. I'm going to have this for lunch, and I will post the nutrition information on the next little slide. Let me know if you make it, and tag me, tag Park City Ice Arena. We want to see you trying this out. Have a great day.